Everybody, welcome to the first official episode of Simon Says. What can you expect? First of all, we're going to try and hear from people with dreams, and we're going to try and figure out how to help them. Hopefully together, I'm going to give some advice. We're going to hear their problems, and hopefully we're going to learn from their questions, because sometimes in business I've discovered you don't even know the questions to ask. So by listening in today, hopefully you'll hear some of the questions that people are struggling with in their lives, in their businesses, and we can help them make their dreams come true. In addition, we've got some fun stuff coming up. We've got some clips we're going to show you. We're going to react to some clips out there in the world and see what you think. See what the world thinks of these things that are trending, what's happening in the world that might be interesting to you. We're also going to talk to some people that haven't got a dream and help them figure out how to find their dream. So we've got lots and lots of fun things planned on this first episode. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you do, you can go watch the episode on Spotify, go reserve it so you don't miss an episode. This will be every single week, a live show where you can also ring in and share your story and get some help. So there's links somewhere around where you're listening to this right now, and you'll be able to click that link and sign up to be a guest on the show. But in addition, you'll be able to follow the show and learn and help perhaps as well. So I think the first thing we've got is a guest. So let me just check with Jay, who's my producer behind the scenes that's helping me do this, and see, are we all live on all channels, first of all, Jay? Is it all good?
We are not live on YouTube.
Okay, I'm going to go live on YouTube then. Let's do that. Hello, YouTube. You are now joining us for the first ever episode of Simon Says. We're going to hear from people who have dreams, and we're going to try and help people who are stuck, maybe not making their dream happen, or it's not scaling, or it's not working, and we're going to try and help them with that problem. You can call into this show too. There's a link somewhere around here that you can call into. You can fill in the form and join the show. In addition, we're going to review some clips of stuff that's out there that's interesting, topical stuff, and try and have an opinion on it. I'm hoping you guys will engage in that too. And hopefully we're also going to help a few people that don't have a dream figure out what their dream might be. So I think this is the first time we've done this. So we're going to have some teething problems, I'm sure. But hopefully, I'm also reading all your comments. If you guys have any questions or want to know anything, let me know. And don't forget to go and subscribe to Spotify and get connected there so that you don't ever miss this show. So let's get started. Who is our first guest?
Hi there, I'm Abigail.
Hi, Abigail from Cambridge.
Hello.
I always start this.
Yes.
I'm starting this new show with a simple question because I give you advice, but I want to know where you are before I give that advice. So what's your bank balance?
It's about 300 to 500 at the moment, pounds.
Okay, good. Now, I want to give advice that's relatable to your financial situation, so it's important to understand that. So go ahead, tell me what's going on, Abigail.
So I'm a artist, and my main role really is as a kind of stay-at-home mum. I'm home educating my 2 SEN children, and I'm trying to navigate managing their educational needs, their SEN needs, while my external support, childcare finances and available time is basically being reduced by the system, a system that I'm obligated to be a part of until I can generate my own income. So managing my needs for my family and having a desire to be self-sufficient.
We lost you a bit there, Abigail.
Okay.
We lost you a little bit. We lost you a little bit there, Abigail. But I think I caught the gist. So, have you got anybody helping you right now?
So I've got a small team of friends. I've got a small team of friends on the business side helping me with a little bit of marketing advice and getting my story ready to share with people, getting my artwork ready to share. I've got, obviously, my husband is around for help. I've got a little bit of help with kind of childcare, but obviously that all needs paying for. And since my needs of my children are kind of outweighing the capacity I have to go out and work, my resources for outsourcing the help I need is very limited.
So I home educate my son as well, so I can understand that side. My
Yeah.
quick take on this is you need to build up your community more. I think
Yeah.
I home educate my son, and every day he has some sort of play group or community activity.
Yeah.
Some of the
Sure.
parents, we share the responsibility of the kids
Sure.
from day to day. And so I don't know how old your kids are, but how old are your kids?
So they're 7 and 9.
Yeah, 7 and 9. So yeah, I mean 7 and 9. My son's 7, so they're quite grown up actually at that age. Surprisingly, I think, of course, they're not ready
Yeah.
to go out there in the world on their own or anything. But I think support is key. I always think it's interesting to me when you see kind of that self-made description, someone of self-made. Impossible. You need help. No one can do it on their own. So my instinct is you just need to work a little harder on building up your network of support. It sounds like you've got some
Yeah.
stuff there, but I feel like you need more,
Yeah.
maybe to give you some time.
Yeah, and I think that's what I need, because my time is my currency, as it were. That's what is most valuable to me. And
Yeah.
because I haven't got the resources to pay for care and things like that, because my children have like their additional needs alongside the education side of things.
Okay.
So trying to meet their additional needs without even
Understood,
starting
yeah.
the homeschool stuff
Understood.
so I'm at this middle ground of the resources I need to grow. The resources then come in, they get fed into paying for time, basically.
I understand. Abigail, I'm
into the business. Yeah.
I am a father, so I understand the parental side, but I don't understand your educational special requirements at all. I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
not very good at that side. But in
Basically,
business, I'll tell you.
that's fine.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
No, oh, sorry. Go on.
No, that's fine. It was just
But what I was going to
The,
say, we're missing
yeah.
each other. There's a delay. What I'll quickly say is on the business side, I had a quick look at your art and your social media. It's amazing, by the way. You're incredibly talented.
Thank you.
Again,
Thank you very much.
I married a designer. So what happened when I met my wife was she was designing and she was trying to win clients and she was managing clients, and she wasn't able to do the things she was great at enough. So I also think you could think about getting a co-founder, someone that can help you on the business side. Maybe someone who's not an artist, but maybe they're very organized. Maybe they're very good at getting quotes to brands or zoos or whoever you may end up working with, who will pay you to do the work, and you don't have to deal with any of that stuff, and they can work on like a co-founder type structure. So if they go out and win the work, you can then spend time doing the thing you actually love to do, which is clearly the artwork. And so I think I would also consider, if I was you, getting a co-founder, getting someone that can actually help you with the business. Now, getting a co-founder doesn't mean you have to necessarily pay someone. There might be a person out there who's looking for some part-time work, or they've got to a certain stage in their life where they don't want a full-time job and they just want to help someone like you who's very talented. You'll be surprised how many people out there are like that. And they might come in and just work on a what they win, they share with you kind of basis. And if you build up a business together, that can also become something quite valuable. I would think about it. And I'm going to chuck on screen now for everybody who's listening your social handles so that people can follow you and support you. But Abigail, I hope that was helpful to you. Thank you so much for calling in. I really admire you. You're doing a great thing. It's not easy looking after children and doing your business, your artistic work, which has to be a business for it to be sustainable. So well done. After this call, okay, so I basically, I would say that sometimes when you're building a business, just to quickly say to the audience listening, after listening to Abigail, sometimes when building a business, there is an element of how to obtain freedom it is initially when you start, making money, say from your hobby or your business, it is hard work because you don't have any infrastructure. I always tell people that running a small business is harder than running a big business. So you need to build infrastructure, and maybe you guys listening, you can figure out what does freedom mean to you when you're building your business. Because I find that if starting your own business is your idea of freedom, then you need to plan for it. If you end up being the person who bakes the cakes, who sells the cakes, who comes up with the recipes for the cakes, who deals with the accounts, who deals with the social media posting, then you're not going to be free. And so you need to figure out how to scale. And I think part of that is accepting it's better to have 50% of something that's 3 or 4 times bigger and 50% of something you really enjoy than 100% of something that doesn't give you freedom. Because a big part of entrepreneurship, one of the reasons I really promote it, is because it can lead to freedom. But you need to structure your life so that it does lead to freedom. Otherwise, you can get a bit tough like it is for Abigail right now. Right. I think it's better you say what I'm supposed to say, because I'm getting confused which way around this is. Is this what you want me to say, or is this what?
No, just read it. Yeah,
this is a new show, folks. We're learning how to do this. So my producer's put something on my screen, but I don't know if I'm supposed to read it to you or whether I'm supposed to.
read this.
Okay, right. I've got some questions that have been sent in. So if you're listening and want to answer your questions, leave a comment on Spotify. Okay, if you're listening and want me to answer your questions, leave a comment on Spotify. Guys, one day you're going to look back at this first episode and laugh. You're going to say, Simon Squibb and Jay, who are running this Simon Says podcast, look how amateurish they were at the beginning. You go back and look at the first ever Amazon office. You go see how amateurish the logo looked, how amateurish the office was. His desk was a door, an old door. I'm practicing what I preach. I'm launching a show that is not perfect. That's how you get good. And I'm willing to fail in public, live on every single one of my channels, to show you that I'm launching a new podcast today called Simon Says, and it's not perfect. Of course it's not. We get perfect by doing it, by trying to make it work. I'm reading all the comments, by the way, online. Thank you so much for all your kind comments and support for today's show. Right, so if you've got some questions, go on Spotify and drop them on there. I think we've got some questions coming in. But before that, am I going to read it on screen?
It's on screen. You can read it and then respond to it.
Okay, and who's it from?
It's from Ridan.
Okay, Ridan in India sent me a business question, and it is on screen for some. It is, I want to build an agency that combines AI and marketing to help businesses grow, but I need clients and credibility. Okay. Sometimes when people are building a business, they get this the wrong way around. It's not have a business, get a client. Sometimes it's have a dream and then get a client. So I always think most of the time, like most of the business that I built with no money, where my first client is often someone I work with who I believe can, if I look after them and win them over, can be my marketing partner. So in other words, it's a client that's maybe high profile or well known, or someone that has a good network. And then I basically do something for them. I show them my service. In your case, you could come up with a marketing plan for someone. And then once you deliver that marketing plan for them and they're super happy, then they can tell people about you. Plus they may then start paying for your services. Now, a lot of people don't believe in free, and I bet you if you compare their success to mine, they won't be as successful as me. I think free has so much value, and I know for a fact that if you've got no money and you're starting a business, ironically, going after the client you want and helping them initially for free can lead to them promoting you. If you go to a client and say, pay me, there can be a barrier. Now, I don't know how many people you have approached to sell your service, because there is a counter argument to my idea here, which is go and pitch to 10 people your service and your price and see if someone says yes. Why not? But I think the easiest barrier is get one client, and then within a couple of days you could have delivered a piece of work for them. You could have made them feel excited and happy. And if you don't charge them, you can build up the relationship without it being about you getting money out of them. And then they can be your biggest advocate. They can be your biggest salesperson. If they love what you do and they love what you're offering, they can go and tell people. And that's worth more than what you'll get out of just charging them. So, Ridham, I hope you got some value from that. And thank you so much for your question. I've got another question from Alex from Montenegro. I'm dyslexic, by the way, so I'm definitely going to start saying words wrong. See, again, I'm not perfect. I'm a multimillionaire. I built successful businesses. I built and sold companies. I had the best life ever, but I can't even read properly. So, everyone's got their superpowers. Right, next up, the question is, I dream of becoming an actor and telling stories that move people, but I'm broke and don't know how to begin. How can I break into acting when I have no money and don't know where to start? Okay. Is that two separate questions? Feels like two separate questions. Go back to the first part. So I dream of becoming an actor and telling stories that move people, but I'm broke and don't know how to begin. Look, I think these days, young people can't afford a house, right? Just accept it. Young people can't afford a house. And I think instead what young people have is the opportunity to go super viral on social media. I'm just looking at my live numbers right now on my channels here. We've got nearly 6,000 people listening in across all the channels. And, it really doesn't cost much. And I think people don't realize how powerful social media is, and people aren't leveraging it properly. And it's a big mistake. And so if I was an actor and I was trying to become an actor today, you can go the traditional route and go and apply to the movie studios or whatever, the method, get an agent, right? And try and get a gig. But I always think about it from a point of like, someone else controls the keys to your future. You're waiting for someone else to spot you. You're waiting for someone else to give you the thumbs up. I would just start making content on social media. I love the people that do they play two characters and those two characters talk to each other, and it might be around a social issue that's bothering you, or they might be reenacting Friends. It doesn't really matter. You can show your acting skill, and the great thing is you can go on these platforms and start acting, and you can literally start getting videos going viral. It doesn't matter how many followers you've got. People always say, oh, it's okay for you, Simon, you've got 17 million followers. It does not matter how many followers you have anymore. That is just old news. You can go on social media, you can make a video, and you can get millions of views if it's good. Now, good is subjective as well. It doesn't have to be polished. It just has to be interesting, funny, or bring value to people in some way. So if you can make people laugh with your acting skill, if you can make people like cry with your acting skill, if you can entertain people with your acting skill, just start. Stop making excuses. Stop waiting for the perfect moment where, Titanic 2 accepts you as an actor. Don't wait for, that organization to say, sure, you're now an actor. Tell yourself you're an actor. Start acting. Stop mucking around and start applying yourself to the things that you can control instead of waiting for someone else to give you the right to do what you want to do. Stop waiting for that to happen and start fighting for your future. And that requires you to push through fear. Start applying yourself to new ways of getting your name out there. An actor on TikTok, in my opinion. I was looking at the story of Superman the other day. The original Superman was on TV and it was very, very popular. And he was not happy because he wanted to be a movie actor. But so basically the story is that he unalived himself. And I think, because he didn't feel like being a actor on TV was cool enough. Nowadays, people will be very happy to be an actor on TV like Netflix, right? But I actually think the next cool thing is people on social media who are actors. They have control of their own channel. They can put out the content that brings them happiness. They're not told what to be and what to say and how to do it. So why wouldn't you be part of the modern new TV and go start making acting stuff on your own social media? No one can ever cancel you then except the public. So go and do it. Okay, I've got a caller on the line. Meg Williams. I think I met her in the street recently. Meg, you there? Meg, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Meg, I'm asking everyone the same question in the opening line. How much money you got in your bank account?
Not enough.
Not enough. Okay, that's swerved. You got to tell me the exact number so I can give you advice that matches your finances.
Oh, probably
Awkward.
currently
Yeah,
probably about £150.
£150. Oh gosh. Okay. And when are you're going to get paid soon?
Yeah, Monday.
Monday. That feels a bit tight. All right, but at least you're not overdrawn.
bit.
I have to say. I think it's But okay. Do I owe you some money? I think I do. Do I?
I don't know, maybe.
Probably. So Meg. Okay, tell us what's up. How can we help you?
So essentially, me and my flatmates want to come up with this new business on rain bonnets. So we
Oh
want
yeah.
the world and its wife to have rain bonnets
Yeah.
as their can't live without accessory. We want to bring them back.
All right. I remember this now. The picture you've got of your rain bonnets makes me want one, and I definitely don't think they were designed for me. And so, all right. Now, for the audience listening, I met your boyfriend on the street who said, my dream, I'm not sure, but I got to get my girlfriend for you. She's got a great dream. And then he ran. I said, I haven't got time to talk. I haven't got time for him to wait for him to go find you. And then I said, just call in on the show. So here you are. But then I walked away and we went round the corner. And then somehow you and your boyfriend ended up running past us, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and then we got a new clip to drop next week. We're going to drop the clip where it's in the edit room right now of that engagement with me and you. So next week on the channels we'll drop that story so everyone can watch it. But I offered you £1,000, right, to help you and be your first customer, as it were, right?
You did indeed.
So yeah, I haven't forgotten, just so you know. So maybe for the audience listening, since that interaction, how are you feeling? Are you going to take the leap? What's your plan?
So essentially, as soon as I met you and then left you, I called my flatmate while I was on the run, and I was like, Georgia, you're never going to believe what's happened. It's fate. She's a big believer in fate. I'm a big believer in fate, and yeah, it's all kind of just gone a bit mad, and we've both kind of said to each other, like, we're going to really give this a good crack. You know, if not now, when? So
Right.
we've been brainstorming kind of names, which is proving quite difficult, I think. But also we've been thinking about, you know, where we would like to maybe source them and how we'd like to source them and how we'd like to sell them and that type of thing, and really just go for it, I think.
Oh, I'm excited for you. I mean, the great thing about this sort of product, especially in England, is it rains all the time.
Yeah.
It's the middle
Yeah.
of July and it rained. So
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea, and I think, look, you know, you have one life, right? So have some fun with it. And yeah, naming wise, just real quick on that. Sometimes with naming, we can overthink it. I think you know, you can have some fun with the name, but don't overthink it. And the only thing you need to be careful of is that you can get the trademark for it. So
Yeah.
don't overthink it, but you know, have some fun with it. Maybe I think with the rain bonnet model, for me, it's literally like make it a word that you can own later.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, and feel free to share the journey with people too. So when we put your video up, of course, hopefully it'll bring more followers to you about this. But I think also enjoy the journey and bring the community along. People listening here, for example, might have some ideas for good names. Crowdsourcing is a great way to find out what you should call it and also then bring the community in to be a part of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think we want this. I mean, we're both 25 and we use TikTok a lot. We use Instagram a lot. And I don't know about you, but I love seeing how regular people have built things, and especially in like the fashion industry, I find it so interesting. And I think sometimes when you look at some big brands, it feels so far away, but then when you actually see people building stuff from the beginning, it makes it feel a little bit more realistic, like anyone could do it. So I don't know, I think we definitely like to do something like that as well and take people kind of on the journey.
Makes total sense. And just remember that at the end of the day, we only regret what we don't do in life. We don't regret trying to do something and it not working. Most people in their 90s, when they're interviewed about what they regret, is they regret what they didn't do. So, if this doesn't work, which I think it's going to, by the way, I think you're going to become a massive, cool, fun fashion brand. But if it doesn't work, you've tried it, but give it a good go, right? Give it a good go. And is your boyfriend going to join you in this venture? Is he going to take control of sales?
I think so. He's definitely been pitching. He's been pitching to us what he thinks he could do. I think because this whole idea came about at a festival. He was like, "Let's go to a festival. Let's get a stand. I'll be your sales rep."
Yes, good. Get him to pitch for the role. I like that. Get him to work for it. He has to earn his spot.
Absolutely.
I like that. But I have a feeling sometimes he didn't have a dream. And I think sometimes what I find interesting is to find your dream or to make your dream a reality. Sometimes the best way to do that is help someone else with their dream. So when I met him, I could tell he was thinking about what to do and what his dream might be. But I think his dream could be initially just to help you make your dream happen. And that can help him find his dream, which may well be, by the way, like, who knows? It might be male bonnets. Who knows? Which sounds a bit rude for some reason. I don't know why. But
bonnets can be for everyone.
Bonnets can be for everyone. Exactly. That could even be your company slogan. I see it. It's not just for the Queen. So
no, it's not.
All right. Exactly. Awesome. Well done. I'm excited to see the business launch. And for everybody listening, we'll chuck your social handles up on here now. And you can follow Meg and her journey in building her dream. Her video will drop next week. You guys are going to love it. Meg, thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
You are welcome. Okay. Our next caller is Gareth from London. Gareth, are you there?
I am here. How are you?
Good. Welcome to the show. And Gareth, I'm asking everybody this question. It's a little bit awkward, but how much have you got in the bank?
So right now, I feel bad for saying this, but there's context. So I've got about 240,000, but that's only because I actually split with my partner and we sold our house. So my half of the house is sitting in my bank account currently, which I don't really want to touch.
Nice.
Like it's going to be earmarked.
Well, you might not have to touch it, by the way, but what it does do is it gives you peace of mind to go and take some risk. Right?
Sure.
And that's the only value a house value has. Most people who build up their house value don't ever realize that they could set themselves free by taking that money, and just gives mental freedom. So I have very different advice for people that have some money in the bank to what I just gave a minute ago to Meg. So tell me, what's up? What can I do to help you?
I think I'm kind of in a position where I almost feel a little bit lost. So I've been very lucky. I've had a pretty decent career. So I made it to director and senior director. I took a risk and went into an AI company, and actually just found myself on the back end of just massive burnout and having to walk away from it. So now I'm almost kind of like in this position where I'm trying to recalibrate and rebuild. And I guess my question is, there's two parts in my mind right now. One is, do I build something for myself? And take the experience I built up. So I used to do, or rather I was doing RFP proposals, doing it at a really, really high level. On the other side of like, do I use that experience or do I go back into work? So I love working with teams. I guess it's trying to find, I guess I need help finding direction. So maybe it's not like a traditional request of like, I have this business idea and
I get it.
I know exactly what I want to do.
Yeah, do you know, if I could frame this up, and hopefully you won't be offended by this, but I don't think you have a clear dream.
I would agree.
So, and this is very common, by the way, because I don't know your background, but you've gone to university, I'm assuming, then you've got a good job, and then you've made some money, and you've kind of actually taken this risk, which you felt burnout maybe for the first time, and so you've kind of been a little bit of a treadmill, frankly. You've been a little bit like set on a path, and you followed the path, and it's brought you what I describe without offense, hopefully, is a middle class life. And the thing is that fair to say? Feel free to push back.
Yeah, no. My only correction was because I totally get the conclusion. Actually, I never went to university. I actually did.
Oh, really? Okay.
I actually didn't get a single GCSE or A level. I just
perfect.
I absolutely grinded to get where I was. So
Well,
that
actually
was
makes
my
me happy to hear
impression.
that, to be honest. No, fair. No, and you know what? I sometimes why I like to know the bank balance, because it's kind of interesting. The people I see free often don't go to university, so it's interesting. Okay, so I think maybe just one step back a second, because I want to help you just maybe figure out your dream. Let's try this, right?
Thank you.
Give me 2 minutes and answer as honestly as you can, and we'll try and figure out what your dream might be. Because if we can figure out your dream, it's your North Star then, and it will help you on the next step. Because I actually think burnout comes from the purpose not being strong enough. And so burnout, don't get me wrong, it can be a mental issue, it can be a financial issue, it can be a physical issue. But I think burnout is a bit broad. So I don't actually know what happened to you, but if you just felt like, oh my God, I can't do this anymore, and you're working too hard, it's probably because of you didn't work life integrate, and the actual mission wasn't important enough. Again, feel free to push back because I don't know you.
No, I think some of that's true. So I think what I faced was working out of the UK, but working for a Silicon Valley startup. So that was actually like an AI company in the same space I work in, that kind of proposals RFP area, which is like winning a singular business for people that maybe aren't familiar with it. And actually, what it was, it almost felt like it was taking over my life. So it was turning into like 14-hour days. And I think you're right. You said something that really resonated, which was maybe if that was my own thing, or if I was working with a company where I really believed the mission, that it wouldn't feel quite as much like work.
No.
Whereas with this, it definitely felt like it was so chaotic in that business. It almost felt like the people that were running it, I guess, it almost felt cynical of like, oh, well, we have AI background, this is an AI problem, rather than like, actually, you know, we love this subject and like we understand what we're doing. And that didn't feel like it was there. So I think a lot of what you said really does resonate.
It's tricky. It's a tricky situation because, okay, so you know what? Let's just go back a step. Okay, again, I just want to go back. Sure. Let's figure out your dream real quick. Tell me the most painful thing that's ever happened to you.
Oh boy, I think. I mean, there are family pains. Like I came from kind of a family with a lot of domestic abuse, I would say. But I think the thing that kind of keeps me up at night, or kind of like I guess like a daily fear, maybe is a better one, or a daily pain, is that feeling of, I guess I've never really felt like I hit my potential. Like I fell into my career rather than seeking it, and despite being somewhat good at it, and try not to be egotistical here, but never really feeling like, do you know what I'm doing actually really stretches my ability, really gives me the ability to show what I'm made of. And maybe some of that is, again, like kind of failing at GCSEs for one reason or another, and you know, I did my A-levels but never took the exam. So I kind of ended up with this sort of like personal chip on my shoulder of like, I really need to prove my success. And my partner is extraordinarily smart. And then there's probably a bit of me as well that is also like, I really want to show up and prove that there as well.
Right. No, my wife's smarter than me, by the way, so I can relate to that as well. You know, I love marrying up. I think if I was to give one tip for the show today, it's like, if you can, marry up, because it does make you want to be better. So I love that.
It's inspiring.
It is. It totally is. And I've learned so much from it. I've become smarter because I married someone smart. I genuinely think that. But just there's some mixture of stuff here. So one thing I would ask you is, and this is really personal. It's hard to talk about sometimes, but like when you say you haven't hit your potential, I partly feel like that is a never-ending stress, right? And so there's either your pain helps you find your purpose. This is my realization. Now, I don't know whether it's in the domestic abuse side where your purpose is, or whether it's in this hitting your potential thing. But if you like, I don't think I've hit my potential, but I'm not beating myself up about it. I'm just taking one step at a time, trying to get better at, say, for example, being a podcast host, or helping people learn business, or being better on YouTube, so more people will watch the content where I teach them financial literacy in business. So basically, I've given myself these steps. What can I do each week? It's a bit like getting fit, right? If I beat myself up that I had an ice cream yesterday, then I basically, what's the point? But today I can not eat an ice cream, and I went for a 5K run this morning, which I did. You know what I mean? Like, I think potential, this could be where your purpose is as well. Like helping people manage their potential, because potential comes over time, right? You look how far you've come. How old are you?
Sorry, I turn 40 actually tomorrow.
Wow.
Oh no,
okay.
sorry, on Sunday the 27th.
Right, no problem. You sound younger, by the way.
Thank you.
But but 40 to me, like, it's still, you've got 4 decades ahead of you, and so like your potential, it's not even, you've still got lots of time basically. And I kind of feel like, don't underestimate how far you've come. There are many people sitting with money in the bank, right? I think that's actually an achievement. In addition, it sounds like you've learned burnout. You've learned about yourself and what you like generally doing. And this whole winning work thing, sales is such an important part of life. I think sales, again, is one of the hardest things. Sales and meeting your full potential, very similar, because sales can be a never ending thing. You can be like, got one sale, you need to get another. You got another sale, you're going to need to get another. It can actually be very exhausting, sales. And I think that's the same kind of mindset when it comes to potential. So I think there's something in, and I don't know enough about the domestic abuse stuff, so I'm going to put it aside, but it might be there. But I think there's something in this, like helping people reach their potential and also appreciating where they are. And because you're feeling this, it keeps you up at night. There might actually be a business in like, what is success? Right? I think in society, there is a real skew around what is success. If you ask people what is success, most people will mention money and a number. If you ask me, you've got a healthy relationship. You've got a relationship with someone you respect. And that, to me, is success. So what is meeting your potential? Well, I think I've been with my partner 24 years. I actually think partly in my relationship, I'm meeting my potential because I've managed to make my relationship work with my partner's help, of course. So I think that this potential thing's really interesting. I reckon there's a consultancy, an app, a running club, or there's something you can, things you can do around your hobbies that link to this thing. Because I think if it's keeping you up at night, you think how many people it's probably keeping up at night. A lot of people don't feel they're meeting their potential. That's what all these course sellers try and tell you. You learn this course and you'll be able to reach your potential, and half the time it's bullshit. Potential comes from inside, in my opinion. Like, what is my target this week? What is my target today? Like, I want to be the best father I can be. So I spent the morning with my son, right? I've reached my potential for that day. Anyway, I don't know does that sound like we're getting close at all?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's. I'm kind of like assimilating everything at the same time and trying to like work my way through. But I think, well, I think when I say potential, what I mean is like I feel like I haven't. I mean, you're absolutely right. I'm very lucky. Like, I'm in a new relationship with someone that I admire and adore, and I've been somewhat lucky. To a degree, like there was a lot of hard work that went in. I think when I say potential, what I think I actually mean is like I feel like a part of my skill set is underutilized. So like I love, for example, I love working with businesses. I love trying to help them grow and trying to help them win those harder businesses. Not everything is super transactional. But I'm also really creative and strategic, and I think it's kind of, I think it's trying to figure out like how do I utilize that in a way that has value, and maybe that is like consultancy, or maybe it's like finding that dream company to work with.
Just one thing I'll say
know.
to you. I think look, this is never done in a day. Let's talk again another time. I feel like I'll just say to you one thing to conclude though. Sometimes your sunken cost, what you've learned to this point, you can shed that skin and be something else. I don't know if you necessarily, if you have, this untapped potential for sales, then, maybe you need to put yourself in the what's the word? Like, okay, another way of putting it, what I'm trying to say here is like, what would you do and you weren't getting paid to do it? Like, what would you like to do where every single day and you wouldn't get paid for it? Let's say it's fishing. Maybe you should just focus on building out that life, that you do the thing you love, and then hopefully, you don't want to eat your savings, so you can make a living from it, and give yourself that kind of break for a minute, because sometimes in this rush to be successful or go to the next level, you might have a sunken cost problem here, where you think you've got this skill that you're not fully utilizing. I don't know if you necessarily, are you enjoying it? And if it burnt you out before, maybe there's some control problem you've got around this. Like, again, like I'm good at sales, but I now rather do marketing. And I'd rather be here helping you than sales. Even though I can do sales, I'd rather be helping you. So I think maybe just rethink a little bit. What is your priority? Maybe using this so-called skill you've got isn't necessary. Instead of thinking about skills, think about hobbies. And have a little bit of time out and think about hobbies would be my. And when I say a bit of time out, maybe a couple of weeks, just have a little dig into like what makes you happy every day if you did it, and take out money from the equation and take out this sunken cost and this skill set. It might come back into the equation, but I think for right now, it's kind of putting a bit of pressure on you to somehow perform more. And I don't think necessarily performance comes from having a skill set. I think performance comes from having a mission. And so I've got better at social media because I have a mission to fix the education system. I wouldn't say that I could beat myself up that I haven't fulfilled my full potential. That wouldn't drive me every day. I think what drives me is, can I get better at this thing to help people with their education and business knowledge? And so maybe have a little think about, your hobbies, and just take this thing out of the equation for a little bit. Thank you so much for calling in. I really enjoyed talking to you, and thank you for your honesty and openness, and I just really appreciate it. I think a lot of people are going to resonate with where you are in life, which, by the way, you can build a business on that. And I hope to speak to you again. I really enjoyed your insight and your honesty. Thank you so much. Okay, so I always like talking about the importance of sales. This, in my opinion, might be the most important entrepreneur skill. At school, and as you become an adult, sales is always seen as this dirty word. I think it's made a dirty word when it isn't. It's literally a thing that can set you free. If you can sell, and everyone can learn to sell, then you can find a job. You can convince people to invest in your business. You can convince people to join your business. You can convince clients to use your business. Like, sales is something everybody can do. You've been told it's for the special few or for select types. It's not true. If you're an introvert, you can sell. If you're an extrovert, you can sell. I've actually done a really long YouTube video on this, how to sell. And you should go watch it. If you think you can't sell, watch that video and then I'll prove you wrong. But thank you so much again, Garth, for calling in. Right. I want to show you guys a clip. And then I'm going to give a reaction to it, but I want to see what you guys think as well. So roll the clip, Jay.
Sales.
Yes.
You need to get good at marketing, and they're not the same thing. And you need to get good at brand building. So I'm going to define those three things. I believe that selling is uncovering the value you have so well that people are happy to exchange the money they have in their pocket for the value you've revealed. So selling is not talking people into buying something they don't want, don't need, and can't afford.
Right.
Selling is making something available to people that they've been looking for anyway. And you just uncover, I've got this thing you value. And when they value your transformation, the transformation of your product, your service, your opportunity, when they value that more than they value the money, then the money it's easy to pay the money.
Look, I just think people don't understand this, and they need to. Sales is simply telling a story. My best salesperson in my last company was my accountant. When I interviewed her, she's one of the best accountants in the world. I wasn't telling her she was going to be a salesperson because she probably wouldn't have taken the job. All I did was explain what the business does and how we help people. And she went off and accidentally sold it to all her other CFO friends. And so then those CFO friends would go back to the office, talk to the CEO, and then my company would get a phone call. Sales is something you guys should learn. I do think it's important as well to understand the process of sales. And very simply, I'm going to share real quick with you the most important 3 steps in sales. Number 1, get to know the person you're selling to, not the company, the person. Understand the person that you're selling to, what their objective is. People don't want to lose their job. So if you're selling to someone something that's very risky, you've got to understand their risk appetite. You've got to understand their agenda. You've got to understand if they have the same pain feeling that you have. So you've got to understand the person you're selling to. Do they like you and do you like them? The second thing you've got to really understand in the sales process is, do they need it? Too many people are selling something that the person you're selling to does not need. And then you wonder why you don't get sales. You know, the analogy of like, sell me this pen, people still don't understand this whole story and Wolf of Wall Street about sell me this pen. It wasn't very well explained in the movie. It's never about just selling someone a pen. It's about understanding whether or not someone needs a pen. And if they need a pen, what type of pen? This is a very expensive pen. This was given to me as a gift by my wife. This is a very expensive pen. Not many people will want this pen, but I could try and sell it to the thousands of people that are listening to this right now, and no one will buy it, and I'll think I'm a bad salesperson. No, it's because I'm not selling it to the right audience. Yesterday, I was sitting at a lunch with 20 people that had all sold their company, and one of them, we had to sign this book where we all signed when we were there to say what was going on in our lives. One of the people there didn't have a pen on him, and I know he's got money. So that's the person I should have sold this pen to if I was in the business of selling pens. So people don't understand. Second step is, do they need it? Do they like you? Do they need you? Do you need them? Right? Do you need them? Do they need you and they like you? I promise you, the third step of the deal terms, payment amount, product servicing, sell the sizzle, not the steak. So once you've got that bit, this first bit's right. The third bit every single time works. If they like you and you like them, and if they need you and you need them, the third bit, the deal always happens. So try to learn to follow that process. And yeah, so great. Right, okay. I have one more caller. Sophie Clark. It's
Hello.
so good to speak to you again, Sophie. Are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Good. Yeah, the tech is working. We can hear you. So, Sophie, tell us how much is in your bank.
I don't want to answer that question.
Come on. It's part of the show.
No,
fun.
I honestly, I know I can't answer that question because it directly affects other people.
Oh, okay.
And I was so nervous when you was going to ask me that, listening to others. Suddenly my anxiety went through the roof.
I'm
I was
sorry.
not expecting it at all.
That was not my aim. I think when I'm giving advice to people, I always want to know their financial situation because otherwise I can't tailor it. I know some people have money to invest in an idea and other people don't. So I try to understand the baseline because I know how money also makes us react. If you don't have money in the bank, it can cause fight or flight, which means I can give you all the best ideas in the world and you might not be able to do it because your brain won't let you because you're worried about paying the bills this week or next week or food today or the electricity bill. So I try to understand people's financial situations because I know my advice will mean nothing if they don't have enough money to eat today, for example. But I understand, Sophie. So tell me what's up.
No, I can probably tell you a bit about what's in my bank account, and it will probably sound quite shocking.
Okay.
But it's really changeable, and I've learned to get really comfortable with that because there's days on the day that I met you, I had £0 in my bank account.
Wow. Okay.
Today I have £1,500 in my bank account. I'm 35 years old in a couple of weeks, so that will probably sound quite shocking to a lot of people that that's all I have in my life. But next month I could have 10 grand in my bank account. And that's just the way that my business goes at the moment because of our personal circumstances. It's not the business that's not doing well. The business is has always done very well. I'm very lucky. But yeah, my personal circumstances, life happens alongside a business. And that's really important that people understand that life still happens and the unexpected can happen at any time.
Maybe for the audience, Sophie, we should just play the clip of when I first met you so people understand a little bit more. So should we play that?
Yeah.
Excuse me, sorry to bother you. Do you have a dream? What is your dream?
I have a business called Mini Peas Hair Club, but our personal circumstances have meant that it's stuck.
What's the problem?
Cash flow.
Most of the time, cash flow is just not enough sales and not enough margin.
Yeah.
So build the margin and get more sales, because I've had cash flow pods my whole life.
I'm getting emotional. It's really embarrassing.
Don't, it's not embarrassing. Asking for help is so hard.
I just learned not to.
I think what you should say is, what I really need is £5,000 to buy some product so I can sell that product.
Well, you give me £5,000 for my product.
Is that what you need? I'm happy to give you £5,000, but I don't want to give a fish. I want to give a fishing rod in life. So I can give you my book, which has all my knowledge in it. So that's like 9 hours of my time. But the most important thing is, and this will be the thing for me, like I'd love to put a video up about you so that people can buy your product. You're not alone, okay?
Yeah, I still feel emotional just watching that again,
Me
Sophie.
too.
So since that moment, how have things been going?
Yeah, so a lot better. I mean, the last time we spoke, honestly, was a real turning point in my life. You can probably see from the video, I was really emotional. I was rock bottom that day. And I have to catch my breath because watching that video, it makes me, you've got this uncanny ability to make people cry.
Sorry.
No,
I'm not sure it's
no.
a good thing. This is happy tears I like.
No, it's nice. I mean, that day you gave me £5,000, no strings attached, and it really changed everything. Like I say, I was really at breaking point, and the business was surviving, but I wasn't. And when you gave me that money, to me, it wasn't just money, it was belief. And that's what I needed. I wasn't believing in myself anymore. And it just allowed me to reset, breathe, and keep going. And that's what I needed. I've never, ever, no matter how hard it's got through, and it's been a real roller coaster of a journey. I started this business almost 4 years ago now, and it was a complete accident, by the way. I didn't sit down, and say I was going to start a business. I always wanted to. I always wanted to make a lot of money and be really wealthy, and I was always trying to, these get rich quick ideas and what can I do? And this kind of just happened, and I believe with every fiber of my being that this is meant to be, and that I will be a millionaire from this. I know that in my core, in my soul. So I just keep going. And I guess that, I suppose, to give people an understanding of what we actually do, because I don't think it's really clear in that video either. And it might be helpful. I know you've seen my page and my things and things like that, but for you as well. The business is called Mini Please Hair Club. And we fall into the imagination play space, I would probably say. And we design like these colourful hair pieces that are clip-in braids for kids, and they look like they've been intricately styled into the hair with like the color hair extensions that you probably see like when you go on holiday and stuff, but they're actually just clipped in. And now we offer like full events, full makeover parties with glitter, hairstyling, and the full works. And we get flown out to amazing places like Monaco, which is amazing. So it doesn't make sense that there's only £1,500 in my bank account today, because we get to go to I feel like sometimes I'm living a double life. I'm surrounded by the rich and famous and celebrities and high net worth individuals. We've serviced people like the King of Qatar, the Eccleston family. And so it really, and then I come home and it's like my life alongside the business. So it's really, it messes with your head a little bit in some ways.
Yes, I understand. Well, look, Sophie, I think you've got that entrepreneur thing that it is a process. What I like about your story is, first of all, you're very authentic and you're sharing the highs and lows. And I think a lot of people feel that feeling of like, I'm going to call it imposter syndrome sometimes, like, that feeling that business is there. It could be, like you say, it's going to be really successful in the long run, but there's going to be these highs and lows of turbulence as you go on your journey. And Sophie, I think it's amazing that you keep pushing through. And I know you've got a lot going on at home. I know you've got a lot of, like me, family, and you got to look after your family. But I think you're a superstar, Sophie. And I also know, by you being so authentic and sharing the struggles, a lot of people feel relieved that they're not alone and they're not the only ones doing it like you're having to do it, right? It's not. I've never said entrepreneurship is easy. I've never said that. I said it shouldn't be something that I think everyone should be able to do it. And I personally think it's still easier than working for someone else when that person isn't a good boss, when that person could just fire you, when you don't own the brand and they're telling you what to do. But I never said it was easy. It's meant to be a challenge. That's what makes it rewarding, right? But I admire you, Sophie, and thank you so much for coming on the show and saying hello again and sharing your story. Okay, so that is our last caller for today. I think it's important that people understand that things continue after the videos. I want people to hear the stories and follow the dreamers like Sophie after they've been on the Simon Squibb social media system. You know, we try to help people's dreams get out there. We try to help people who have a dream get promoted, get supported, get a community, get orders, get an investor, get a co-founder, whatever the dreamers need. But it's important, I think, to realize, you know, the journey doesn't stop with the video. And please follow these people. Please follow these dreamers. They will actually inspire you. And some are succeeding and some will fail. But I think failure is the best lesson of all. And the ones that succeed are giving back. And I don't think anyone can be successful on their own. I'm going to make this the theme of this show. It's impossible to succeed on your own. School teaches you this lie that sitting down and doing it on your own, this exam, this life thing, is how you're meant to do it. You get an A or you get a D. It's all your fault. It's all on you. You're idiot. You're smart. No, you have to do it together. There's no other way. We need to do it together. That's another part of this show. I want to make it a community show where we help each other. So please go follow us on Spotify. Please comment, engage, and follow the callers. Follow the people that ring in here and help them in any way you can. Everybody here, if you're rich or you're poor, you can give 5 minutes to help someone today without any expectation of anything in return. Give without take, not give and take. Just give 5 minutes and your life will be better because the world will be better. Thanks for listening. I want to hear your dreams. So give us a call in the next show. This will be every week. We will be doing Simon Says. You can now follow us on social media on most channels. It is Simon Says. We're still securing those social media handles, but go and find us, Simon Says. And if you want to be on the show, there will be a link somewhere around here, wherever you're listening to, for you to sign up to come on the show. And in addition, if you want to help anybody who's on the show, just go follow them on Instagram and give them a DM. If you're watching live right now, please go to Spotify and follow us, Simon Says. Again, there should be a link in the bio. And I hope that together, not only can we help people find their dreams, we can help people's dreams work, help people's dreams get out there in the world. Because again, if you want your dream to come true, if you have a dream and you want it to come true, I've learned this thing. I was 10 years old when I remember my granddad saying to me, just as I was about to blow out the birthday candles on my birthday cake, he said, Simon, if you want this wish to come true that you're about to make the wish for someone else. Don't make it a wish for yourself to have this, that, and the other. Make the wish for someone else, and then it will come true. It stuck with me. And I made a wish that day that wasn't for me, and it came true. So if you want to be successful, if you want to be living your dream, help someone else with their dream. Please feel free to subscribe wherever you're listening to. Go on Spotify and let Spotify know this is the best podcast you've ever listened to and you want to see it more, because Spotify then can promote this podcast and we can start to help people and we can help people's dreams happen. And if you don't know your dream, then the best thing you can do is hang out with dreamers on this podcast. Thank you for listening, everybody. We'll be back in a week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know on stories. Let me know on Spotify. Let me know what you thought of the show. Let me know what we could do better. I want to make this the best podcast in the world. I want it to bring you value. I want it to make you smile. I want it to make you surprised, shocked, excited. I am tired of the boring old podcast formats where we just listen to rich people talking to rich people. I want to hear your stories. I want to help you follow your dreams. And I'll see you next week.